welcoming all to this fantastic, opportunity to share some great insights on the subject on 3D technology. Today, I have a very senior guest, Dr. Vikas Jain, who is an orthopedic surgeon and also a technocrat. A very good combination for us to have got his, time and availability. Very busy, doctor. Thank you so much, sir, for your time.
My pleasure.
And also somebody who has really put in his time and effort in terms of evaluating potential in AI, that is artificial intelligence and 3D technology, which includes scanning, imaging, and 3D printing now, making life more easier, doctor, in terms of the end expectations when it comes to patient-specific implants for PSI, and also coming up with new innovations when it comes to material science and the design thinking coming out of the box in terms of thinking how we can get the final solution. So it was only possible, dear respondents, only with 3D technology. So because customized manufacturing and customized implants is a possibility with 3D technology, unlike in the conventional method, which is good in a way for the larger manufacturing setup. But customized manufacturing for the medical fraternity has really gained a lot of expectations from 3D technology. May it be dental or maxillofacial, or may it be orthopedic, spine. Bioprinting is also gaining a lot of traction here now with new materials coming into the space with hydroxyapatite. People are also looking forward to even printing organs. So there's a lot of research going into this space also with tissue engineering and bioprinting in a combination. And then we have medicines. You have also customized drugs being 3D printed now. In short, let me give all of you an introduction of 3D Graphy. 3D Graphy was a consortium that we formed in the year 2015. By then key respondents, we also got a great opportunity to connect with Mr. Ratan Tata ji, also to introduce him to a platform on 3D technology, but not go for them being new. The technology was already absorbed by Tata Motors then. But subsequently, for us to also connect with these stalwarts and leaders, to also then conduct events and conferences on an ongoing basis with communities built across different specialization, may it be aerospace or defense or automotive tooling, shipbuilding, and very, very sensitively something which is very, very connected with the human body is dental and orthopedics and cardiology and cardiothoracic. So these were areas that we wanted to also have a separate faction. So 3D Graphy, dental and medical was a concept which we started in the year 2018, where we wanted to address all the medical respondents. And that's where it all took off in terms of something that we thought it could be a great idea to research, to get into research and development, and also to see that how this technology can be well absorbed by the clinicians and also the doctors and surgeons who are really waiting to look at an opportunity in terms of getting the right solution for the patients. And that's where we also thought, with almost 43 events conducted in the last 8 years, we realized that it is also important that we need to also have an information source for all these information to be collectively, addressed through a channel. So 3D Graphy News was born last year because there is never a dearth of content for us to see that the opportunity is well set to create a platform and then inform and be informed. So we have various different menus. We have interviews, we have research and development, where a lot of case studies have been shared. We also have innovative exercises being conducted by various institutes and doctors and surgeons and across sectors. But right now it is very specific to medical. So I just thought I will specify this. And then also to see that how the online media can be made much useful to connect through phones and lab machines, making it more convenient for the end users to absorb these content. So thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen, for your patient hearing. But now let me quickly introduce Dr. Vikas Jain, our editorial advisory board member, also representing orthopedics and spine. And he will also be sharing some of his areas of specialization using the technology. And I will leave it to Doctor to introduce himself and then we will start our interview. Thank you. Doctor, please, all for you to start with your introduction, and
Okay.
then we'll discuss. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Shibu, for those kind words that you have been talking about me. First and foremost, I'm really thankful to 3D Graphy and its entire ecosystem. It requires a lot of thinking, a lot of thought process that must have gone for you to have created such a beautiful ecosystem, because you would not get any results or sustainable solutions unless and until you create a beautiful ecosystem, which you have done. Coming as a background of a media, you know how to communicate the technology, and which you have been doing very well. Shortly about me, I'm Dr. Vikas. I am qualified as an orthopedic surgeon as well as a management consultant from IIT Bombay, and I'm also an alumni of Washington University in St. Louis. Uh, I have been working professionally as an orthopedic surgeon, passionately as a management consultant, predominantly focusing on strategies, resource optimization, technology upgradation, corporate finance, and startups, mentoring few startups, right? Uh, the next thing that is in my life is the third P, and that is higher purpose. I am of the belief that the technology should always be for the best use to the mankind. And that's where comes the role of 3D technology. This is a game changer. I see a lot of big future, not only in healthcare but also non-healthcare industries, which we shall not be discussing today. Uh, Understanding the gaps and challenges that are existing in healthcare is very important. And not all medical professionals are in a position to think out of the box, think for those gaps and challenges, but there are lot many who already are having lot many questions about how to find out solutions to the challenges which they are facing day to day in their maybe maxillofacial, maybe orthopedics, maybe even other branches in healthcare. And I see somewhere that 3D technology can come up with a solution in for most of those challenges. So I see 3D technology as a very big opportunity and the futuristic technology, which will definitely be of a great help to the optimization and existence of a mankind. And that's where I feel that every person who has an inclination towards technology, towards innovation, towards out of box thinking should become part of your 3D graphy ecosystem and should come up with all the possible inputs. And then definitely I think you as a leader in 3D graphic can bring about a lot of many at a global level. I'm not saying India level, at a global level, we all together can bring about lot many disruptive technological changes, which would be highly acceptable not only by our own country but also by the Western world.
Thank you, Doctor. Thanks for your very directive, pathway in terms of your inputs, because I think a pathway is very, very important for the technology. We are more like a catalyst because you're
Exactly.
the ones who are looking for these solutions. So, Doctor, understanding the potential of this technology, any case studies, Doctor, that you have been conducting using 3D printing in your regular activation process.
So till now, what has happened is that we have been in the last 25 years using implants, which are basically modular, right? And I see that the whole technology is now going to take us from modularity to customization. And customization is very important because every human being would have a definitive anatomy, a definitive physiology, and that would require a real customization wherein 3D printing is going to be of a big help. So, in the last 2 years, uh, me along with one of the onco-orthopedic surgeons who's also a big innovator, he's from Gujarat Cancer Research, Dr. Abhijit, we have been discussing a lot on possibilities of using 3D printing technology or a 3D technology uh, to a great extent where we can use them from case to case. So the use has started. 3D printed material or 3D printed anatomical, say, parts have come to us right from doctors' own education and pre-operative planning, which we have already done it. We have made zigs, which is going to allow, the zig will allow how to go into do different cuts that are required to be made on the bone, because again that becomes very patient specific, and then you require a customized zig. You cannot have a modular zig in that. Now, with advent of real good materials that like titanium, cobalt, chromium, peak, implantable devices are the third thing that we have started to work on. The things which we have already done is implanting modular prostheses in onco-orthopedic patients. Yet the 3D printed plates, yes, there were 3D printed plates that we have used, which were long plates, which were not available on the normal implant manufacturers. Again, there were two important parts which we have been working for 2 years. One is talus as a bone, which is a very important bone in the foot. So yesterday itself, we have done a beautiful talus replacement in a chondroblastoma patient in Gujarat Cancer Research. And to that, we added a beautiful tibial component, again made up of titanium and HDPE as a spacer. And it is functioning pretty well. We are waiting. We would be wanting to take this ahead in the third generation. Spinal cages, yes, intervertebral body fusion coming out of PEAK is very commonly used by spine surgeons. There's a new thought process which is going into it to have an osteoinduction properties at the two surfaces of these cages, where we would be using hydroxyapatite coating, which is going to enable the osteoinduction properties. But again, these are all at the stage of the thought process. We'll be putting that ahead into our 3D graphy ecosystem. Then we are also working on the tubular plates. Now, till now we are using unidimensional plates. Now onwards, we would be now thinking in terms of having a complete tubular plate for fracture fixations. Now, this is something very new. It's a new idea which will enable a better fracture fixation and a better outcome as far as the fracture union is concerned. So these are the few things which a lot of people are also working. We are also working. Let's see how things would take us ahead.
So, doctor, when you mentioned about these implants, now apart from jigs and fixtures, which definitely helps the surgeons to plan the surgery well in time, because when you cut open, there's a profuse blood flowing. So, it's life is in the blood, is as been said. So, I think making it more simpler and convenient in terms of making your procedure faster. When we discuss about implants, these implants can be also made lighter and with lactic structure.
Exactly.
Even acetabular cups that we see, now you can actually have a porous finish outcome with the kind of
That will
the
help in osteointegration, yes.
oyster integration.
And
Yes,
you
so
need
that
not cement it. You need not
you don't
cement
need
it.
to cement it. But yeah, but how do you see this technology gaining that kind of attraction going forward?
surely it's going to gain, because you know what, again, trust me, uh, every orthopedic surgeon first needs to understand that 3D technology is going to enable them to get implants which are better than the modular implants. So you will get a customized implant, right? Second thing is, every orthopedic surgeon who operates wants their patients to get the best of results, right? Once, till now it has been that there are local as well as international players who are coming up with modular implants, and they have flooded the medical device market, which is very big not only in India, across the world. And however, 3D printed medical devices are yet to even, I don't see even 0.1% also of that market, which we are yet into. So that means we have a huge and big market if you talk in terms of opportunity as well as in terms of adaptation to the technology. Both the things are going to be super acceptable from the 3D technology point of view.
So immediately, doctor, what do you think that is missing? Now the technology is good; it is actually serving the purpose.
Yes.
Do you think education is going to be the key, even in terms of the medical colleges getting to know and learn this through a curriculum which need to be designed for
Yes.
PGs to learn and
So
understand?
exactly. So what happens now is, one is to create, what are the challenges as far as 3D technology is concerned? One is the awareness. Definitely the awareness into the entire, say, healthcare doctors across, even say in educational institutes, even those who are in the private practice, even those who are in the corporate hospitals, they are yet trying to understand and trying to, they just have that buzz. Okay, there is something known as 3D technology. They exactly are not aware as to how. So that means there's a gap. Now, this gap needs to be filled, and there need to be people like you, maybe like us, who will have to go to them, and then we'll have to communicate that this is something which is going to be helpful to you in day-to-day practice. To give you an example, I have spent around 4 hours yesterday talking to the oncosurgeons, which are not orthopedic. Maybe there was a GI oncosurgeon, there was a renal oncosurgeon, there was a plastic surgeon, the one who does lots of facial-maxillary surgeries. So we were talking to them about how soft tissue printing can also be done, and they were all very surprised. You can do that? I said yes. 3D technology is going to now change. We can give you pre-operative models. You can work on those models, and you can actually plan out your surgeries. One, taking, as far as tissue engineering and organ development from 3D will take some time, but that is incoming. That is incoming, definitely incoming. So they find this to be a really good solution, because ultimately the problem lies is that the as far as onco is concerned, it is very difficult to save an organ once there is a cancer there, right? So if there is something that comes as a substitute, it will be a boon to the human and mankind. As far as orthopedics is concerned and maxillofacial is concerned, skeletal stabilization is very important. Till now, we did not have solutions as to how to do skeletal stabilization. We only had bones and we had to fix it back. So if there were multiple fractures, if there was bone loss, say if it was in pelvis, if it was in big bones of the lower limbs, which was responsible for weight bearing, and even if there were bad spinal fractures, we did not have, there were solutions, surgeries are there. But what I see is there are better solutions which will now come when 3D technology will come into play. And then again, material, think about PEEK is such a beautiful material. Once it gets that traction, once the orthopedic surgeons start to understand, till now we are just using them in the cage. So if you see the intervertebral cages which are made, we are just using that PEEK now. There are lot many companies from medical devices side who have started to think of making joints out of PEEK. And let's see, that's the future. That's the future.
Right. So doctor,
Cost is another challenge. Cost is another challenge. So when you are asking me what are the challenges, I see information that has to travel to the people. They have to start accepting the technology, and definitely, again, as I understand, will only come down once there is an increase in demand, because still there is no demand. We are ready with 3D printing machines, which are investments which are highly capital intensive. Crores of rupees is put into it, and if there is very low demand, I think sustainability becomes a big question there.
very true, doctor. So I think everything is going to be a step by step process. So
Step by step process.
what we realized is, as a consortium, doctor, and now that you're also one of our key respondents, we will try to definitely fill that gap in terms of communication
I'm, a,
awareness
I'm,
through
a,
events
I'm
and
always
conferences.
available. Yeah.
Yeah, so I think that takes care. But the next step, as you mentioned, cost. Now, cost will also mean economies of scale. So the demand and supply kind of a situation. Where more the demand, people would definitely want to choose this as an option because it makes things more convenient and easy,
Exactly.
and making the surgeries faster and efficient. And it's also good in a way for patient satisfactory index, where patients can also be a part of the exercise, get to learn, understand what is the cases. So it is, and a very transparent kind of a set model can be also achieved. So while that happens, more demand, more supply, more technology companies getting registered with our consortium will mean the choice is open for everybody
Yes.
to decide, and which
Yes.
means that the cost will definitely come down. So it's
Come down.
economies of scale, doctor, in terms of what.
Exactly.
But I think we are just in the a very starting point. It's just in the inception stage, and we see a great future going forward. And as you rightly said about medical devices, each and every cases, each and every anatomy, and each and every cases can be then tuned to this particular medical device in terms of what is expected. And it can
Yes.
be, these medical devices can be with antimicrobial materials,
Yes. Yes.
making it more recyclable also, and not making it more heavy and more convenient. So every surgery can be with one new medical device. So this
Yes.
is
Yes.
where
Yes.
we see a
Lots of.
great.
See, I am telling you, metals, heavy metals, chances of infection. All these were problems. These were challenges actually. So if you say if there's an antibiotic coating possible, that means you are reducing the chances of infection. When I am saying HA coating, I'm also trying to do is I'm trying to create an interface between a non-biological material and a biological material. And what are we trying to do is we are trying to conjugate the biological material to the non-biological material, right? So these are something real fantastic futuristic technologies which will be for the betterment of mankind. Now that is where the whole core is. You should always use any technology which will improve the mankind in, say, not only from the health point of view, from their entire day-to-day work activities of daily living, everything should be done in such a manner that technology is going to take that ahead, and that's where 3D technology is going to play a very big role. I am fully sold to the idea that the future lies in 3D technology.
Right. And as you rightly said about the sterilization becomes another big issue in terms of achieving, because infection can make
Yes.
successful surgery is complicated. So it's everything is a part and parcel of the entire process. So there
Always.
are companies, doctor, who are also registered with us. So there is one company by the name Copper 3D. They are into antimicrobial materials, and these are done with on FDM machines. You can print it on an FDM machine, simplified and as effective in terms of what it can do in terms of achieving it. And it is not a big rocket science here. So that is where it's as simple in terms of how it can be achieved. That's the beauty of this technology. Now, I also know, doctor, that you have been having a soft corner for pets and dogs, which also gives me to know from you that that's been a challenge when it comes to veterinary implants, doctor.
Yes.
What do you think about this technology, and how is it going to solve, and how it can? But I mean, I need to know from you, because we understand that technology can do it. But yeah, if you can share some of those insights, that would
So, as we already have Mr. Banerjee from Orthotech, who is another big dog lover and a very close friend of mine, I am also closely associated with Orthotech in their entire business venture. Together, we are both animal lovers, dog lovers, and we were just discussing that there are a lot many hip dysplasias which are seen commonly in the dogs. So especially the if you see the Labrador breed, uh, we are seeing lot many patients who have got hip disorders. So it just so happened that we started to think in terms of having hip implants for the veterinary use. And this is something very unique, something very social. Ultimately, I'm a big follower of Bhagavad Gita, and which rightly says that every human, has to give back to this earth. Then and then, because the earth does not belong to any one of us. We are existing because the earth, its environment, its climate, and the entire animal and plant kingdom enables us to exist. And so it's our moral duty, it's our duty to give back to those animals, to those plants, to the entire climate, and in no way we should make any effort to destroy this. So this was a very small effort from Mr. Banerjee, his wife, and even partly, a small involvement on my side, thinking about 3D technology, thinking in terms of. So he's already started a small firm which is known as Shoy Biomedicals, and I think he'll be the right person who will elaborate the entire process of creating veterinary implants. I'm just a small part of that venture.
So, Doctor, now we also understood that these technologies can be utilized in various areas of specialization in medical. Even a small device will mean that it's an opportunity of creating an IP. So
Yes,
that
yes.
there's a huge scope of empowering
Yes,
young aspirants, or maybe for companies to come together and work in that direction, uh,
yes,
and then creating these products, because India has a great potential, doctor, and we also know that with the Make in India concept and government's initiative in that direction, I think we have at least a pathway set, because I think somebody at the forefront needs to take that call in terms of the concept going forward. So now with this national additive manufacturing strategy, doctor, if you know, the Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology have taken that decision to see that how we can come up with these products. Maybe 500 products is set in terms of the pipeline to be created in time. So new products, new innovative products is the key. So, doctor, how do you feel? I mean, what do you think? That we need to activate. Where does the source come from? How does this need to be activated in your understanding, doctor?
yes. So I have been always telling from the different platforms where I speak that the time has come when we as India has tremendous amount of resources, which includes human resources and the human minds, which are highly innovative. We have a huge population. There are challenges, and these challenges allow us to have, and they give us this opportunity to come up with the solutions to these challenges. And that's where Make in India, Atmanirbhar Bharat, and export. These are the three core areas where I have been talking to the people that we need to work. Let the people on the other Western world understand, and they say that, okay, this is done here, and this is what we should do. Rather than we quote in our conferences that this is done in US, this is done in Europe, and this is what we should do. I'm wanting the things to get the other way around. Now that may not take a long time, because the way doctors, healthcare professionals are working in India, and the amount of data that is getting collected. There is another data analytic platform that is again working. So there's a repository, there's a data analytics, and again I'll tell you that the 3D technology is again going to play a big role in this sort of data creation, where so many patients would be treated. Because if you see, yesterday I was with Gujarat Cancer Research, the amount of patients who suffer and who come to the hospitals is enormous. Uh, Actually, not that I am justifying that there should be huge amount of disease and cancer, but what I'm trying to tell you is that all these patients will, once you treat them, they and you try to come out with solutions and you come out with the entire study. This study is going to enable the even the Western world to follow what is the best way to treat those patients. Now, that's where whole thing is, as you rightly said, make in India, Atmanirbhar Bharat, export, reducing the trade deficit are all very small and right initiatives taken by the current government led by Prime Minister Modi. And I'm very sure if things go in the right direction, we are heading to a real 5 trillion economy in coming 5 to 10 years. That is for sure.
Very true, doctor. Thank you so much. I mean, I'm sure there's much that we need to also see, and do to work towards that direction set by
Yes,
the government,
yes,
because
yes.
it's only possible if the industry and the
Everyone.
respondents come together and work towards it in that
Exactly.
direction. They can only
Yes,
open the doors for us, but
yes,
that's the so it's been a very proactive decision made, and we just
sure.
need to walk the road. So, Doctor, finally, I think we've been able to cover a lot of substance, Doctor, and
Yes,
thanks for your active participation. And I'm sure working in conference together, we
yes,
will be able to achieve what is expected.
yes, sure.
Doctor, a final one sentence in terms of what is expected from the technology, and what do you perceive of the technology currently?
There are two sentences which I always would say. One is you would be modularity turning into our 3D technology use, where we will have an individual patient specific use, that is customization. So modularity to customization is one sentence, and second is any imagination converted into reality. That's the second sentence. Third is optimizing 3D technology for the betterment of humankind. Now, all three together should be the core of all of us who are working. If it's 3D graphy, 3D graphy is a consortium, as you rightly said, it's an ecosystem, and all of us have to work around this core. We
Yes.
have to work around this core. It could be your mission statement, it could be your vision, but ultimately, every single effort that should be done is for betterment of humankind and mankind.
Very true. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for your last statements. And those are very, very powerful statements. And that's the way forward. It's a very simplified thing, and we just need to walk the road
Sure, sure,
accordingly. Thank you
sure.
so much, Doctor, for your time.
I have to
And,
thank
uh,
you,
and
Dr.
have a
Shibu.
wonderful weekend, sir. Thank you so much.
Superb, superb. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.